Chapter 30:27. But he didn't, Pudding answered calmly. Pudding, this is a matter of life and death. Suyu emphasized the danger of this operation. That's why I need someone reliable to do this. Suyu looked at Pudding in surprise and then at the mysterious old man. So, this old man is the reliable person you were talking about? Yes, that's right. Suyu was speechless. Suyu was exhausted when he saw Pudding asking the old man to do the operation with Qin-Chu. Pudding would never do something so ridiculous, but today, it was as if someone had cast a spell on her. She was completely disobedient. We don't have much time left. Handsome Su, I'm begging you. Hurry up and do the operation for Daddy, Pudding said with tears in her eyes. Suyu's heart ached when he saw Pudding like this. However, he wasn't confident because he didn't know the old man's identity. If he did something bad during the operation, Qin-Chu might die. If Huamin came back safely and found out that Qin-Chu was dead, he would hate Suyu for making the wrong decision today. Pudding saw the hesitation in Suyu's eyes. Pudding added, Handsome Su, this time, I'll take all the responsibility and consequences of Daddy's operation. It's not about who will take the responsibility. I'm just afraid that it'll be too late to regret it, Suyu continued to hesitate. You won't regret it. Daddy will wake up safely. Only when Daddy wakes up can he find Mommy, Pudding said calmly. But Pudding, Handsome Su, I'm begging you. We've known each other for more than 3 years. I swear on my life's integrity that this time, please trust me, okay? Pudding was firm in her words. She felt that Suyu had no reason to refuse, nor did he have the heart to refuse. In the end, Suyu lost to Pudding. Okay, Pudding. Uncle Su believes you. Thank you. Pudding rushed over and hugged Suyu excitedly. Then, he turned around and smiled at the old man. Can we start now? Pudding, come with me. I want to see how he's doing, the old man said. All right. Pudding. Suyu was still worried that Pudding would go into the ward alone with this mysterious old man. I'm fine, Handsome Su. Wait for me outside. Be a good girl. Pudding was in a great mood. Suyu. Then, Suyu watched as the little girl, who was wearing a white doll dress with red polka dots, followed the old man into the ward. Young Master Su, this is too ridiculous, isn't it? The doctor from the military hospital couldn't understand. There were so many top doctors in the country who couldn't do anything, but an old man who suddenly appeared could do it. Could it be that he was an immortal? Suyu didn't answer because he also didn't think it was reliable. However, he was willing to trust Pudding. Pudding wasn't an ordinary child. She was a little girl with a terrifyingly high IQ. She inherited her parents' powerful genes and could deal with many unexpected situations on her own. He and Pudding had been kidnapped twice and narrowly escaped death each time. Suyu believed that a smart child like Pudding, who loved her father so much, would never do anything risky. Since she insisted on using him, she must have her reasons. After considering many things, Suyu compromised, although he still wasn't sure. After they entered the ward, the moment the door closed, the old man turned around and looked at Suyu. The old man turned around and looked at Pudding kindly. Pudding, do you know who I am? Chapter 30:28. Pudding stared at the old man with her big watery eyes for 3 seconds and said calmly, I know. Your grandpa. Hearing the words, Grandpa, the old man's eyes immediately warmed up. To be able to hear Mion's daughter call him Grandpa in his lifetime was an indescribable happiness. The professor reached out and patted Pudding's head lovingly. Good girl. They didn't talk much. The professor walked up to the bed and did a series of examinations for Qin-Chu. Pudding didn't understand the equipment on her grandpa. Was it like her auntie's watch phone? It could create an illusion when he made a call. It was an advanced technology that had never been seen on the market. After about half an hour, the professor took off the equipment on Qin-Chu. It seems these quacks are good. Basically, the diagnosis is correct, the professor said. Grandpa, how's my daddy now? Pudding walked over and asked worriedly. It's not good, the professor said as he packed up. But you'll find a way to save him, right? Pudding said confidently. Who told you that your grandpa will definitely find a way to save your daddy? The professor smiled lovingly. Auntie told me, Pudding answered honestly. I knew it. Other than that damned girl, no one else is as annoying as you. The professor smiled helplessly. Grandpa, are you sure you can save Daddy? Pudding asked. You were so confident when you talked to that young boy outside. Why are you not confident now? The professor wanted to see how his grandson, who was rumored to have a high IQ, would react. That's because we don't doubt people. Auntie is so smart. If she said that Grandpa must have a way, then he must have a way. You're right. The professor nodded in satisfaction. Grandpa, have you thought of a way to save my daddy? I have. That's great. Grandpa, you're amazing. For the first time, Pudding admired someone from the bottom of her heart. When a huge problem was placed in front of them, everyone was helpless. Then someone came and said lightly, Don't worry. I'll solve this problem. At this moment, one would think that he was a godlike person. Then when can I operate on Daddy? Will he be able to wake up after the surgery? Pudding asked 2 more questions in a row. Before the operation, Grandpa has to do one more thing. What is it? Pudding was curious. Detoxification. Your daddy. This guy is so perverted that he drugged himself to suppress his mental pain. For a long time, the toxins have accumulated in his liver. If they are not removed in time, the internal liver will continue to be in a state of necrosis. Grandpa said a lot of professional things. Although Pudding didn't really understand, she could tell that it was a problem that couldn't be ignored. Okay, then Grandpa will detoxify Daddy first. Pudding nodded. Where's Little Bean? She's still at Grandma Sue's house. Grandma Sue? Are you talking about Su Yu's family? Yes. How about this? Come back to South Hill Manor with me. I can take care of you while researching the antidote. Is this okay? Pudding was pleasantly surprised. Of course. Do you want to go back with Grandpa? The professor smiled warmly. My sister and I both miss home. It's great that Grandpa is here. For the first time, Pudding couldn't be so calm. She couldn't suppress the excitement on her face. So, I need you to tell the kid outside that you'll deal with him first. Then we'll go home. The professor pointed at Su Yu outside the door. Pudding nodded and opened the door to walk out. Pudding, how was it? What did the old man say? Su Yu was also very nervous. Chapter 3029. Pudding cleared her throat and said, That old man said, You're very annoying. You're always nagging and nagging. Su Yu was speechless. Ha! I'm just kidding. You believe me? Pudding laughed out loud. Su Yu found it hard to accept that Pudding, who was usually cold and arrogant, suddenly changed her personality. Are you possessed by Pudding? At this moment? Su Yu was exasperated. No, I'm just kidding. Don't worry. The old man said that my daddy's illness is a small matter. That's what the old man said? Su Yu was puzzled. Pudding nodded. Is the old man bragging? Su Yu found it hard to believe. Why was it that even the famous Professor Luo couldn't solve a case that the whole country couldn't solve? Even the mentors and excellent students at Harvard Medical School couldn't do it. This ordinary-looking old man said it was a small matter? It was like an old man who got drunk on the street and bragged that he had fought in the Long March and worked for a marshal. Of course not, Pudding denied. Pudding, you seem to believe him? Then why do you believe him? Su Yu leaned over and asked Pudding mysteriously. 'Cause I have no other choice but to believe him. Su Yu was speechless. You're just trying to save a dead horse. Su Yu was helpless. But my daddy isn't a horse. He's a super handsome guy, Pudding emphasized. I know. I'm just making an analogy. Okay, let's not talk about that. Handsome Su, come here. I have something to discuss with you. Pudding waved her hand and began to act cute. But Su Yu knew that Pudding had a purpose for acting cute. What is it? Su Yu was wary of the little girl. Come here first. I'm a little tired. I want to sit in your arms. When Su Yu heard this, he was even more scared. He walked up to Pudding carefully. Sitting on the long bench, Pudding climbed up and sat on Su Yu's lap. Then she wrapped her arms around his neck. Handsome Su, do you like me a lot? Of course. Then, will you agree to whatever I want to do? That depends on what the matter is. Murder and arson are definitely out of the question. Suyu was also careful. Of course not. How could I possibly do something like that? Then everything else can be discussed. Then I want to ask you for a favor, Pudding said mysteriously. Speak. Promise me first, then I'll tell you. Fuck? What kind of logic is this? I don't even know what it is, so how can I promise you? Suyu was dumbfounded. I don't care. If you don't agree, I won't tell you. Pudding continued to act shamelessly. Actually, she had learned this from her mommy. She found that her mommy often used this trick to deal with her daddy, and it worked every time. Pudding thought that it would work on Suyu as well. After all, he loved her and Little Bean so much. What are you playing at? Don't be naughty. I'm not. I'm being serious. Handsome Sue, just say yes. It's not a difficult thing. I'm not asking you for 1,000,000 yuan. Pudding smiled. 1,000,000 yuan is easy, Suyu thought for a moment and thought that the little girl probably wouldn't cause any trouble. So he nodded. Tell me. You agree? Pudding was pleasantly surprised. Yes, I agreed. Here's the thing. Little Bean and I will go back to South Hill Manor and live with the foreign, old man. As soon as Pudding finished speaking, Suyu's face turned cold. Chapter 30:30. Handsome Sue, you're not trustworthy. Pudding pouted. How am I not trustworthy? You said you'd agree to anything I say. But your request is too unreasonable. I can't agree. Suyu's face was still dark. How is it unreasonable? I just want to move back home with my sister. With that old man of unknown origin? Suyu questioned. He's not an old man of unknown origin. Pudding paused. Her auntie's words came to her mind again. Her auntie said her grandpa's identity was special and she couldn't tell anyone. She couldn't even tell Suyu to avoid unnecessary trouble. Pudding didn't know her grandpa's identity, but her auntie was right. Pudding swallowed the words that were about to come out of her mouth. Suyu saw Pudding's hesitation and wanted to get more information. He's the one who can save my daddy. Pudding, are you sure you're not hiding anything from me? Suyu's eyes were sharp. Then why do you trust him so much that you want to move back to South Hill Manor with your sister? Do you think it's safe there? I trust him. Nonsense. Suyu was really angry this time. Handsome Sue, you promised me. You can't go back on your word. Don't waste time. They said they can cure my daddy. Let's detoxify him first. I think it won't be long before my daddy wakes up. Then he'll tell you everything and explain everything you don't understand. But you didn't tell me the truth. Suyu looked into Pudding's eyes. Pudding lowered her head guiltily, not daring to look into Suyu's eyes. Finally, after 10 seconds of silence, Suyu said, "Fine. Since you trust him so much, let him be. I'll ask someone to send Little Bean back. I thought that when your daddy and mommy weren't here, you two trusted me the most. I didn't expect that. I'm not as good as an old man of unknown origin." It's not like that, Handsome Sue. We still love you. Pudding was worried. Hearing Suyu's words, she was sad. It's okay. You can do whatever you want. I've done my best. Your daddy asked me to take care of you, and I've done my best. Your mommy isn't here now, and I've done my best to protect your daddy. I, Suyu, have a clear conscience toward the Qin family. After that, Suyu carefully put the child down on the ground. Then he walked towards the other end of the corridor. Handsome Sue, I'm sorry. You'll understand in the future. Pudding's voice was very small. Looking at Suyu's lonely back, she felt very sad and wanted to cry. However, she knew rationally that crying wouldn't solve anything. The professor held Pudding's hand and left the hospital, returning to South Hill Manor. Suyu didn't go back on his words. He asked someone to send Little Bean and the twins' things back to South Hill Manor. Then, Suyu asked and to bring people to South Hill Manor to protect the two children at all times. If the old man was found to be doing anything wrong, he was to be killed immediately. After doing all this, Suyu was still worried. He drove directly to the Municipal Public Security Bureau and found Gao Ran. Look at this old man carefully. Do you know him? Su Yu took a photo on his phone. Gao Ran leaned over and looked carefully. He shook his head. No. You've never seen him even once. No, Gao Ran replied. That's strange. Who is he? Su Yu muttered to himself. Didn't you check his background? Gao Ran asked. I did, but I didn't find anything. This old man's information is blank. Blank? That's impossible. Gao Ran was surprised. Chapter 30-31. It's true. Su Yu looked serious. How is that possible? Even if he's an ordinary person, his background wouldn't be blank. There must be some basic information about his family. But he didn't. Then, if he's not a citizen of our country, did you find out which country he's from? I couldn't find out his nationality. Do you know what that means? It means I don't even know his name. Su Yu sighed deeply. Then there's a problem. He's definitely hiding it on purpose, Gao Ran said cautiously. I think so too. What? Is he a suspect? Is he the one who broke into the ward and drugged your bodyguard? Gao Ran suddenly remembered what happened at the hospital that day. I'm not sure. Then why did you take out his photo and investigate him? He said he can save Qin Chu. What? Gao Ran was even more surprised. To be exact, Pudding said this old man can save Qin Chu. Gao Ran was once again dumbfounded. No, Lord Su, I'm very confused right now. Can you tell me what's going on? Gao Ran was completely confused. Su Yu then told Gao Ran everything that happened. After Gao Ran heard everything, he was silent for a long time. Then he asked, So you're agreeing to let that mysterious old man take the twins back to South Hill Manor? Su Yu nodded. That's very risky. You don't even know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Gao Ran felt that Su Yu was too careless. I tried to stop her, but Pudding was very stubborn. Pudding is still a child. How can you listen to her and let her do whatever she wants? Gao Ran stood up, looking very worried. Pudding isn't an ordinary child. Don't underestimate her. Maybe she's been hypnotized or brainwashed. Anyway, this is too unreliable. Gao Ran paced around the office with his hands on his waist. My people are monitoring the situation. If they find something wrong, they'll immediately kill him, Su Yu added. Are they in a hurry? Your people are always outside. How would they know if something happened inside? There are surveillance cameras? There are blind spots in the surveillance cameras. Besides, if they kill the kids, you won't be able to save them. I feel that although that old man is mysterious, he doesn't have any killing intent. Based on my intuition, he doesn't seem like someone who would harm the twins. Lord Su, I'm a police officer. I don't believe in bullshit intuition. No, this is too ridiculous. I have to go to South Hill Manor and bring the kids to my house. Now that Qin Chu and Huamin aren't here, I can't let anything happen to the kids. Just like that, Gao Ran and Su Yu seemed to disagree. Although Su Yu was very worried, he chose to believe Pudding and didn't do anything extreme. But Gao Ran was different. He and his men drove 5 police cars to South Hill Manor immediately. On an unknown island in the Pacific Ocean, after a few days of stalemate with Wuxia, Huamin finally felt despair. She knew that no matter what, she couldn't escape from this guy's hands. Instead of lying down and pretending to be dead, she might as well get up and see if there was a chance to escape or if there were any flaws in the defense. Huamin got up and changed into a white silk dress that Wuxia had prepared for her. The dress had lace at the cuffs and hem, a typical choice for straight men. Although it wasn't Huamin's type, the dress was beautiful and of good quality. Huamin glanced at the label. It was from a luxury brand and cost 6 figures. After changing into the dress, she opened the door and was about to walk out. Mian, you finally came out to get some fresh air. You're not mad at me anymore. Wuxia had a bamboo basket in his hand. He seemed to have just returned from outside. Chapter 30-32. Huamin glanced at Wuxia coldly. Without a word, he walked past Wuxia. Mian, you're not familiar with this place. It's dangerous for you to wander around. Are you afraid that I'll run away? After Huamin asked this, Wuxia laughed. There aren't even any boats here, you can't run away. You know that the closest land to here is 2 or 3 days by boat. Why would I be worried that you'll run away? After hearing Hua Xiqian's words, Huamin's heart sank and he felt even more hopeless. I'm going out for some fresh air. I won't go far. Don't follow me. After saying this, Huamin left. As expected, Hua Xiqian didn't follow. Perhaps he knew that Huamin's emotions were very messy and complicated. Moreover, she was pregnant, so it was inevitable that her words would be too extreme or emotional. Huamin spent more than 2 hours walking around the small island. The roads on the island were all dirt roads and were indeed very original. Compared to those man-made tourist attractions, this was an island with its original flavor. The entire island was so big. Wild flowers, wild fruits, and many nameless tropical plants could be found everywhere. There were also small animals. The entire island only had one small wooden house, 1 bedroom, 1 living room, 1 bathroom, 1 kitchen, and 1 washroom. It wasn't big, but it had everything he needed, so it was quite convenient. Huamin didn't know how long Hua Xiqian had planned to develop this island. However, just hearing him say that it would take 2 or 3 days by boat to reach the closest land, Huamin still had lingering fears. The sun was setting in the west. Looking at the sunset and the seagulls on the sponge, the scenery of the sea and the sky were the same color. This should have been very beautiful, but there was only sadness in her heart. Huamin didn't go back until it was almost dark. As soon as he entered, he smelled the rich aroma of rice. Huamin turned his head and saw Hua Xiqian walk out of the kitchen. He was wearing a green cotton shirt and black cloth shoes. I was just about to go out and look for you. You're back so soon. Just in time for dinner. I'm not eating anymore. After that, Huamin went back to his room with a cold face. Hua Xiqian didn't waste any time. Instead, he served the dishes that he had prepared. It was very light. It was a stir-fried vegetable. This was a kind of wild vegetable that grew on the island. It was green and lush. There was also a scrambled egg. There was also a fish. Hua Xiqian would go to the beach to fish every day. There were all kinds of fish. Sometimes it was a big fish, and sometimes it was a few small fish. She cooked them in different ways to make Huamin happy. Mian, you're pregnant now. You should eat more fish. I heard that the baby will be smarter if you eat fish. Huamin didn't say anything. Hua Xiqian patiently prepared the dishes and put them in front of Huamin on a tray. I know you don't like to eat with me. You can eat here by yourself. I'll eat in the kitchen. Is that okay? Huamin looked down at the dishes. Suddenly, anger rose in his heart. He raised his hand and knocked the food to the ground. After a while, Hua Xiqian smiled helplessly. Is it because the food I made these days wasn't good enough for you? Tell me what you want to eat. When my people come to deliver food to us next month, I'll ask them to bring it. Hua Xiqian, how long are you going to lock me up? You're like a pet. What's the point? Huamin couldn't help but get angry. How can I be a pet? Mian, we're family. I think of you as my family. Don't be ridiculous. We've never been family, emotionally or genetically. Hua Xiqian, don't lie to yourself. How long are you going to have this dream? Chapter 30-33. If it's possible, I hope that this dream will last forever and never wake up, Hua Xiqian begged. Don't even think about it. You won't succeed. Qin Chu will come looking for me. Mian, don't be silly. Qin Chu is just immortal. This is a secret place that I've set up for years. Not to mention Qin Chu, even an army wouldn't be able to find you easily. You like Qin Chu, so you treat him like a god, right? You just said that I was lying to myself. What are you doing now? Hua Xiqian smiled. I'm not like you. Qin Chu will come looking for me. He will. Huamin was determined. Yes, Huamin trusted Qin Chu more than she trusted herself. She believed that as long as Qin Chu was still alive, he would be able to find her, no matter where she was. Qin Chu will definitely come looking for you. Let's eat first, okay? Hua Xiqian coaxed. I'm not hungry. Even if you're not hungry, the baby will be hungry. He's already so big. Hua Xiqian glanced at Huamin's slightly bulging belly as he spoke. Huamin knew that she shouldn't be stubborn. If she didn't eat in a fit of pique, the baby would suffer with her. Seeing Huamin waver, Huasiqian cleaned up the spilled food on the floor and walked into the kitchen. Then he filled Huamin's bowl with rice and vegetables. He gave the entire fish body to Huamin, leaving only the head and tail for himself. Then Huasiqian brought the tray over again. He placed it on the small table beside Huamin's bed. Don't knock it over this time. There's only so much I can cook. If you knock it over, the baby will go hungry, Huasiqian warned. Huamin remained silent. After that, Huasiqian returned to the dining table and ate the simple meal with relish. Huamin looked at the fish in his bowl and felt a little sad. She remembered that when she was young, there was a time when her family wasn't doing very well. At that time, Uncle Jing had gone out to work and hadn't returned. She and her younger brother still had to go to school and eat. Her mother had to live frugally. The three of them ate mostly potatoes and cabbage. Later on, in order to supplement her nutrition, her mother woke up early to buy cheap fish from the fishermen by the sea. When they got home, they would make soup for her and Jixin, and her mother would eat the fish head. At that time, she and her brother were still young. Jixin even asked her mother, "Mom, why do you always eat fish heads?" His mother said that the fish head was delicious, but when he grew up, he realized that there was no meat in the fish head. It was just a lie that their mother told them about her true love all these years. Although her adoptive mother misunderstood Huamin because of what happened back then, her heart was kind. She raised Huamin like her own daughter. Huamin would always remember this kindness in his heart. He didn't alienate Jixin and her adoptive mother just because he got in touch with the professor and Lu Yan. Now, Huasiqian was a man of noble status who ate delicacies every day. Yet, he had to come to this deserted island with her and live a simple life. She really didn't understand. Was he really happy doing this? Huamin was silent for a long time. In the end, he compromised for the sake of the child in his stomach. He picked up his chopsticks and began to eat slowly. Not far away, Huasiqian smiled warmly. No matter what Huamin did, he would never be angry. He was always patient. He didn't know what was wrong with him. In the past, he always said that Huamin was Qin Chu's and Su Yu's weakness. But it was also his fatal weakness. Ian seemed to have seen through this. If he didn't take Mian away, Ian would use Huamin to threaten him. Huasiqian, on the other hand, would never allow something like that to happen. South Hill Manor, sis, who is this old man? As soon as Little Bean walked in, she saw Pudding and an old man sitting on the sofa. They seemed to be studying something. Chapter 30-34. Little Bean, you're back? The professor looked at the little girl who looked exactly like Pudding and was very happy. How do you know my name? Little Bean was quite cautious. Of course I do. Not only do I know your name, but I also know your age, your birthday, and what you like to eat. What's going on? Are you a spy? Little Bean glared at the old man in an unfriendly manner. When Su Yu sent someone to bring Little Bean home, the little girl was overjoyed. Thinking that her daddy had woken up, she packed her things and ran into the car. However, the moment she entered the house, she saw an old man she didn't know. Little Bean, don't talk nonsense. Do you know who he is? Pudding stood up. I'm telling you. You can't tell anyone, not even in front of handsome Su. I'll tell you if you promise. So mysterious? Little Bean was puzzled. Can you do it or not? Pudding looked at her sister with a serious expression. Qin Zhao Zhao, you're pretty and everything you say is right. Little Bean began to tease her again. Little Bean, this is Grandpa. What? Grandpa? Little Bean was shocked. Yeah. Pudding nodded. Am I seeing a ghost? Didn't Grandpa die many years ago? Little Bean remembered that her grandma always said that her grandpa had died many years ago. Although she didn't know how her grandpa died, it seemed to have something to do with her mommy. Because every time she talked about this matter, Mommy's expression seemed to be quite sad. Are you crazy? He's not that grandpa. Pudding was exasperated when Little Bean thought it was Jingda. How many grandpas do we have? Isn't there one grandpa for each of us? Little Bean was even more confused. I'll explain it to you later. Little Bean, do you remember Auntie? Pudding walked over and asked Little Bean. At the mention of Auntie, Little Bean couldn't suppress the excitement on her face. Of course, Auntie is very powerful and very rich. Little Bean gestured exaggeratedly. That was because she and her sister had a few expensive gifts, and they were all given by their aunt. You're such a money grubber when it comes to money. I'm telling you, Auntie said that we can't tell anyone that Grandpa is back. Grandpa is back to help Daddy with the surgery and take care of us. If we accidentally leak it, Grandpa and us will be in danger. Even handsome Sue can't tell anyone, got it? I understand. Little Bean immediately understood what her sister meant. Although his sister didn't say it clearly, it was obvious that Grandpa and Little Aunt were in cahoots. Otherwise, Big Sister wouldn't keep mentioning Little Aunt. You two do look more like your father. Your mother isn't as pretty. The professor looked at his two granddaughters carefully, his eyes full of love. Isn't that obvious? My daddy's genes are very powerful. This time, it was Little Bean's turn to be proud. Little Bean, I heard that you like to eat all kinds of cakes? The professor asked. You know quite a lot, old man. Seeing her sister was about to scold her, Little Bean immediately changed her words. I mean, you know quite a lot, Grandpa. Ha! You're a mischievous child. You're very naughty, just like your auntie when she was young. The professor wasn't angry. Instead, he laughed happily. I'll make desserts for you tonight, okay? Tiramisu? The professor asked. Little Bean was so excited that she threw the small bag in her hand to the ground and nodded repeatedly. I don't want it. I'll get fat if I eat desserts all the time. Little Bean pouted. Then Grandpa will make you fruit salad and steak. Beef won't make you fat. Okay. Little Bean nodded. To be honest, the twins were notoriously difficult to please, but the professor enjoyed it. At this moment, the professor's watch beeped. He pressed the start button. Then, Lu Yan's image appeared in the air. She was wearing a camouflage military uniform and looked valiant. Dad, you're here, right? Lu Yan asked. Chapter 30-35. Yeah. The professor nodded. Have you seen Pudding and Little Bean? Lu Yan asked impatiently. Andy, we're here. Pudding waved her hands excitedly. Andy, I'm here. Little Bean was even more excited than Pudding. She ran over and waved her hands wildly beside the professor. Ha, little cutie, I finally see you awake today. Lu Yan laughed. That sounds weird. You sound like you've seen me sleep before. Little Bean's brain worked quickly. Lu Yan smiled but didn't say anything. Auntie, where are you? I'm in South Africa. South Africa? Is it Brazil? Do you want to do a samba dance for me? Little Bean asked jokingly. Idiot, I said I'm in South Africa, not South America. This is South America, okay? I told you to study the geography, but you didn't listen. How embarrassing, Pudding corrected her. Auntie, look, Qin Zhao Zhao always bullies me when Mommy isn't home, Little Bean complained. Ha, you only know how to complain and don't know how to control yourself. What do you think? Is your grandpa handsome in person? Lu Yan teased. Compared to my grandpa, he's a little handsome. Compared to my daddy, he's definitely not handsome. Little Bean covered her mouth and laughed. I know my place. Compared to your grandpa, I'm not going to compare myself to your daddy. The professor was also very funny. Dad, I'm relieved that you're here. How's brother-in-law's condition? Have you seen him? Yeah, I've seen it. It's basically the same as the information you sent me. The quack doctors in China are not bad. When are you going to do the surgery? Lu Yan asked. I'm not in a hurry. I need to detoxify him first. The surgery is simple, but the detoxification is a little difficult. I plan to do experiments tonight and test the medicine. Okay. I'm sure nothing can stop you, Dad. Lu Yan smiled. Any news about your sister? The professor was still worried about Hua Min's disappearance. Not yet. I've sent people to investigate, but there's no news yet. What about Ian? Is there any movement? Yeah, I poked Ian's hornet's nest this time. He's chasing me all over the world. Lu Yan laughed hysterically. You're funny. Don't be too careless. Be careful, the professor warned. I know, Dit. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Is Xiao Fei still beside you? Yeah, that guy is eating and drinking my food. He's my lackey now. With him around, I feel much more at ease. Alright, that's it then. Wait, I need to talk to my nieces. Lu Yen was reluctant to leave. The professor pointed the camera at the two children. Pudding, Little Bean, listen to Grandpa. Daddy will wake up soon. Okay. Pudding and Little Bean nodded. Where's Auntie? I've ordered many people to look for your mommy, so don't be sad. I'm sure your mommy will be back soon, Lu Yen comforted the two kids. Auntie, you're so nice. Little Bean began to flatter her. You're such a sweet talker. Lu Yen smiled. Auntie, you have to take good care of yourself. When mommy comes back, can you come and celebrate with us? Pudding invited. Okay, when your mommy comes back and daddy wakes up, everything will be over. I'll come back and celebrate with you for 3 days and 3 nights, Lu Yen said. Then we'll wait for you. Pudding nodded obediently. Okay. Lu Yen hung up the phone with a smile. She leaned against the dilapidated wall of the factory behind her, her right hand gripping the pistol tightly. There are about 15 people outside. They have heavy machine guns, so it's dangerous to break through from the front. Retreat from the back while I fight with them. Then I'll go to the dock to find you. If I'm not there in 10 minutes, you can leave by yourself, Xiao Fei said. Chapter 30-36. You want to play hero with me? Xiao Fei, do you think this is a movie? Lu Yen stared at Xiao Fei with wide eyes. Yen, this isn't a movie. This is a real gun. Fuck off, real guns and bullets. Don't talk to me about useless stuff. I've been hunted since I was 5 years old. I've been exposed to more bullets than you've eaten rice. Don't talk to me about real guns and bullets. If I was afraid of death, I wouldn't be alive today. Lu Yen was angry. I know you're not afraid of death. But the problem is, I don't want you to die. So you want to die? Lu Yen was still angry. I didn't say I wanted to die. I said I'd cover the retreat. You go first. I'll find you later. Fuck you. I'm not going. If you want to stay, we'll stay together. If you want to leave, we'll leave together. Lu Yen was determined. To be honest, Lu Yen was a very, very tough person. Xiao Fei had been with her for many years, but she never said anything romantic to him. She also didn't act coquettishly like other women. Basically, her life was filled with fighting and killing. It wasn't a performance or a rehearsal. Every time she fought, she risked her life. Xiao Fei loved Lu Yen and felt sorry for her. So, he would rather offend his family and fall out with his father to wander the world with her. Then, every time they fought, his heart would not be calm. He was worried about Lu Yan's safety. So, when he sensed danger, he would let Lu Yen go first. This was a man's way to protect the woman he loved. Yen. Xiao Fei wanted to say something but was interrupted by Lu Yen. You've become a coward. It's just 15 people. What are you afraid of? Back then, I could easily kill 20 to 30 of them with my bare hands. Killing people was as easy as eating and drinking for Lu Yen. She was very familiar with it. It's different this time. Yen, they're carrying long-range heavy weapons. Their firepower is very strong. If they destroy it from afar, we'll all die here. This lousy factory won't last more than 3 minutes before it's destroyed. What's there to be afraid of? The worst outcome is death. When I came to this world, all I learned was the law of the jungle. The strong and the weak are the strong. If I don't kill them, then they kill me. It's such a simple principle. Psycho Qiao, I'm not afraid. What I'm afraid of is that you'll die here if I leave alone. Before Xiao Fei could answer, Lu Yen quickly leaned over and kissed him on the cheek with her blood-stained lips. We'll be fine. Trust me. Xiao Fei was pleasantly surprised by Lu Yan's sudden kiss. Before she could recover from her joy, she saw Lu Yen take out something that looked like chewing gum from her purse. What do you want? Xiao Fei had a bad feeling. Give them a surprise. Lu Yen chuckled. Yen, Psycho Qiao, I'm fine. Don't worry. It's said that good people don't live long and bad people don't live long enough. A bad person like me has killed so many people. I'm so bad that I'll go to hell 100 times. Maybe I just don't want to live long enough. Then, Lu Yen stuffed the gun into Xiao Fei's arms. I'll go out in a moment. You check for 10 seconds and then run out, Lu Yen said as she loaded the gun in her other hand. No. I'll go. Xiao Fei grabbed Lu Yan's hand tightly. You can't do that. It's not that I'm looking down on you, but there aren't many people in the world who can dodge so quickly. And I was the best student in the West Point combat exercise back then. My average military dodging speed was less than 1.2 seconds. Amazing, right? Then Lu Yen smiled. When Xiao Fei wasn't paying attention, she suddenly let go of his hand and ran out at an extremely fast speed. Xiao Fei followed her and ran a few steps to catch up with her. He heard a loud explosion. It was so loud that his ears felt like they were going to explode. Chapter 30-37. Lu Yen didn't tell him what the chewing gum was, but she didn't tell him what it was. But Xiao Fei knew it was explosives. Lu Yan's hobby was to study all kinds of explosives. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been targeted by so many terrorists who wanted to use her for their own purposes. Even many big drug lords in Europe and America had tried to hire her. Some even offered to buy Lu Yan's explosives. But judging from Lu Yan's expression just now, he knew she wasn't confident this time. Sure enough, when Xiao Fei rushed out, the outside had turned into a sea of fire. The enemies outside were all lying on the ground, no one alive. The heavy weapons they brought didn't seem to be used in a hurry. Xiao Yen. Xiao Fei shouted in panic. His heart was bleeding. The thick fire burned, and Xiao Fei heard the sound of the explosion. She sent the bomb out so quickly, he guessed that Lu Yen must have stuck the chewing gum explosive to the bullet head. Then she fired at the center of the enemy. But because she was close, Lu Yen was also affected. Xiao Fei was like a helpless and desperate child, running through the fire without caring about anything. He called Lu Yan's name over and over again. Lu Yen. Answer me. Lu Yen, if you dare to die, I'll never forgive you. Lu Yen, you heartless little bitch. Lu Yen, you bitch. You heartless woman. You don't keep your word. We agreed to be together. Xiao Fei's face was covered in tears. Finally, he found Lu Yen under a big tree. She was lying there, looking like she was dying. Xiao Fei ran over. Seeing Lu Yan's face and back covered in blood, he was dumbfounded. Yen. Xiao Fei's hands began to tremble in excitement. Why are you screaming? I'm not dead yet. Lu Yan's voice was weak. But he was lucky to be able to hear her. Yen. Xiao Fei was pleasantly surprised. Psycho Xiao, you look so fucking ugly when you cry. Don't cry again. Xiao Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Psycho Xiao. If I really die, you can't fall in love with other women. Do you hear me? I'll haunt you even if I become a ghost. I'll crawl through your window at night. You won't die. Xiao Fei picked her up gently and held her carefully in his arms. He used his own face to press against her blood-stained face. He was heartbroken. Such a beautiful and cheerful girl. He was only in his 20s. Why did he have to live such a hellish life? For the first time, Xiao Fei resented God for being so unfair. Cough, cough, cough. Lu Yen coughed violently, and a lot of blood came out of her mouth. Xiao Fei's heart sank again. Yen, how are you? Damn it. We were too close to the explosion and almost got caught in it. Check and see if they're all dead, Lu Yen reminded him. They're all dead. Not a single one survived. That's good. Let's go. I think I hurt my lungs. I need to clean them up. Okay, I'll take you to the hospital. Xiao Fei picked her up, his eyes still filled with tears. Are you stupid? Don't go to the hospital. Ian's people will definitely know. What should we do if we don't go to the hospital? Just do the surgery for me and release the blood from my lungs. Lu Yen said in a small voice. Are you kidding me? Xiao Fei broke down again. He was a layman and knew nothing about medicine. Psycho Xiao, I'm so tired. I want to sleep. Lu Yan's eyelids began to feel heavy. No, Yen, please don't sleep. Xiao Fei panicked again. Chapter 30-38. But I'm tired. It was obvious that Lu Yen was exhausted. I know, but you have to hold on, okay? Psycho Xiao. Do you love me? Yes, yes, yes. Xiao Fei blurted out the word, love, 3 times. Then will you marry me? I'll marry you, Xiao Fei answered firmly. Then let's have many children, okay? Maybe I'll be like my sister and give birth to twins. Okay, you can have as many as you want. Where should we go to get married? Bali, the Maldives, Tahiti? Fiji? Las Vegas? Lu Yen began to imagine a beautiful future. Anywhere is good, as long as I can be with you forever. Xiao Fei comforted Lu Yen as he looked for a safe place to hide. Finally, he found a remote cold storage room. He pried open the door and carried Lu Yen in. The cold storage room seemed to slow down the festering of her wounds. You can't go to the hospital. I'll get a doctor to help you. No, I'll die if I get a doctor. I don't trust their skills. Xiao Fei, you do it. Lu Yen grabbed Xiao Fei's hand and said weakly. But I'm afraid I can't. You can? I'll tell you what to do. I can't. I don't have any experience. Xiao Fei didn't dare to use Lu Yen as a guinea pig since it was a matter of life and death. They were in a stalemate in the cold storage room. In a presidential suite Inn was drinking coffee. A young girl in a maid uniform knelt on the ground, trembling, with her head lowered. Did you make this coffee? Yes, sir. Okay, it tastes good, Ian praised in fluent English. Thank you for your compliment, sir. The maid seemed excited. But who told you to put milk in my coffee, huh? Ian lowered his head and leaned close to the maid's face, asking her gently. I think this kind of coffee will taste better if you put some fresh milk in it, the maid replied. You think? You're trying to influence me with your ideas? I don't dare. You're really making me angry. You're quite likable, but why do you look like you're going to die young? Sir, I'm sorry. I'll make another cup for you. The maid was so scared that she kowtowed and begged for mercy. I think the reason why this coffee doesn't taste good is because it's missing something. Ian inched closer to the maid's face mysteriously. What thing? 3 seconds later, the maid felt a chill on her neck. She saw that the ring on Ian's finger had been opened. A small but extremely sharp blade slid across the maid's throat. Blood instantly flowed out. Ian held the coffee cup and caught the blood that flowed down. The coffee instantly turned dark red. The maid seemed to be like a statue, kneeling there motionlessly, unable to say a word. After Ian filled the cup to the brim, he raised it to his lips and took a sip. It tastes pretty good this time. Sir, there's a situation over there. A subordinate came in to report. Speak. Our men are all dead. How is that possible? Didn't they use long-range heavy weapons? Are they useless? How could they not catch Lu Yen? Ian looked up and frowned slightly. Lu Yen used some kind of explosives to kill all our men. But we found Lu Yan's blood at the scene. She seems to be badly injured. The girl is injured? Ian asked excitedly. Chapter 3039. Yes, Lu Yen must be severely injured as well. Severely injured? Who told you to injure her? Ian stood up without warning and raised his hand to slap his subordinate, causing him to feel dizzy. His boss's mood was always unpredictable. Sir, didn't you say we should use long-range heavy weapons? The subordinate was also confused. I meant to force her to lower her head to me and beg for mercy. Who asked you to kill her? Ian seemed very unhappy. Yes, Lu Yen was the girl he was most interested in. If she died so easily, the rest of his life would be so boring. Even though she was so naughty, blew up his plane, and forced him to jump out of a parachute, he still didn't want her to die. Sir, I'm sorry we misunderstood. If something like this happens again, don't come back to see me. Just jump into the sea and apologize. Ian was slightly angry. Sir, since she's severely injured, she can't have gone far. I don't think she'll leave this place. You guys, take your men and investigate all the hospitals and illegal clinics. Don't let any of the unemployed doctors go. Lu Yen will definitely ask for help. Sir, if you find Lu Yen, keep her alive. Do you understand? Sir, by the way, what should we do with the man beside her? That kid from the Chow family? catch him as well. I'll do that piece of trash Xiaonan a favor. Sir. Ian thought Lu Yen would find a doctor to operate on her since she was so badly injured. Even if she didn't go to the hospital, she would find a doctor to treat her wounds. But Lu Yen didn't. If Ian could think of something, so could she. She would never let Ian's men find her, even if she was beaten to death. In a remote cold storage, Xiao Fei held a sterilized dagger in his hand, and his fingers trembled slightly. Don't be afraid. It's simple. Lu Yen smiled weakly. You're still smiling? It's not simple at all. Xiao Fei was on the verge of breaking down. Because it was Lu Yen, he didn't dare to take any risks. Good girl, don't be afraid. If I make a mistake, dying in your hands is much better than dying in the hands of that psycho Ian, Lu Yen joked. Get lost. Don't say such ominous words. You'll be fine. The last thing Xiao Fei wanted to hear was Lu Yen talking about death. All right, I understand. Young Master Qiao, young Master Qiao. Do it all right? Didn't I draw the location of the lungs for you? You just need to make a small incision there and let out the blood that's accumulated inside. Then it'll be fine. It's so simple. Are we really going to do this? Xiao Fei hesitated. What else? Are you going to collect my corpse? You're still talking? Xiao Fei was furious. Okay. I won't say any more. Big brother, hurry up and do it. It'll be dark soon, and your vision won't be good. It'll be more difficult. Yen, can you really do it without anesthesia? Xiao Fei looked at Lu Yen with heartache. At this critical moment, he had to cut open Lu Yan's wound. That was a direct hit to the lungs, piercing through many layers of skin and nerves. That kind of pain, let alone a girl, even a man wouldn't be able to bear it, right? Even Guan Yu's bone scraping was not as bad as this. You're underestimating me. This is a piece of cake for me, okay? Lu Yen smiled. Then bear with it. I'm going to start. Xiao Fei gritted his teeth and decided to give it a try. If he delayed any longer, Lu Yan's life would be in danger. Chapter 30-40. At South Hill Manor, Grandpa, when can we eat? Little Bean asked impatiently as she circled the professor in the kitchen. Pudding sat calmly in the living room, watching TV and analyzing the stock market. She heard from Su Yu that after Huasiqian disappeared, the whole corporation basically collapsed. However, the news hadn't been released yet. The outside world didn't know that Huasiqian had finished his apprenticeship and that the whole corporation was only an empty shell. Pudding held a lot of Huo Corporation shares. She planned to sell them all when the market opened tomorrow and cash out. Okay, right away. The professor smiled. Grandpa, you lied. You just said it would be done soon. Little Bean pouted. Little girl, are you starving? The professor squatted down and hugged Little Bean, his face full of love. Yeah. When I heard we could go home, Grandma Su asked me to stay for dinner. I didn't eat. Go out and call your sister. Wash your hands and wait at the dining table. I'll bring the food out. Okay. Hearing that it was time to eat, Little Bean ran out like the wind. Sis, wash your hands. Grandpa said it's time to eat. Okay. Pudding nodded. Putting down the tablet in her hand, she got up and walked to the sink. After washing their hands, the two sisters sat at the dining table obediently and waited. Sure enough, the professor brought them a bowl of tiramisu. It looked even better than the ones sold at the bakery. Grandpa, did you really make this? Little Bean couldn't believe it. Yeah. How is it? It looks good. I can't judge it until I finish eating. Little Bean licked her lips. I'll wait for you to grade Grandpa. Then, the professor brought over a plate of black pepper steak and fried ham and placed it in front of Pudding. Thank you, Grandpa. Pudding was much calmer than Little Bean. Then, the professor went into the kitchen and brought out 2 small bowls of noodles. Here, one for each of you. What's this? Little Bean looked at it curiously. I made noodles with vegetables and eggs for you. You won't be full just from eating that. Grandpa, you're so good at cooking. You can cook anything. That's right. Grandpa knows a lot of things. The professor looked at his granddaughter proudly. Grandpa, are you really my mommy's father? Little Bean suddenly asked. Yes, what's wrong? But doesn't a person only have one father? If you're Mommy's father, then what about the grandfather who passed away? Little Bean thought about it for a whole night, but she still couldn't figure out the connection, so she was very curious. I can't explain all of this in a few sentences. You'll slowly understand in the future. The professor smiled. Grandpa, why aren't you eating? Pudding saw that her grandpa only made food for the two of them, but there was nothing in front of him. Grandpa is old. He can't eat too much at night. He'll feel uncomfortable. I see. Grandpa, have some ice cream then? I'll get it for you. It's very sweet. Then Little Bean ran to the fridge and opened it. She took out a box of ice cream and placed it in front of the professor. Okay, Grandpa, have some ice cream. The professor used to think that he would have to risk his life for scientific research. He never thought that one day he would be able to take care of two granddaughters. They lived the most ordinary life, ate the most ordinary food, and enjoyed the happiest time. If Huamin was here, this scene would be even more heartwarming. Thinking of this, the professor's eyes filled with tears. Grandpa, why are you crying? Are you tired from cooking for us? Little Bean asked. Chapter 3041. No, Grandpa isn't tired, but Grandpa is crying. Little Bean pointed at the old man's eyes and said, Grandpa thinks that it would be great if your mommy was home. Our family would be so happy. The professor let out a long sigh. Grandpa, Daddy will find Mommy when he wakes up. He'll find Mommy for sure. Don't cry. Seeing her grandpa sad, Little Bean comforted him. Yeah, Daddy's going to make the antidote now. Let's wake your daddy up first. Then, the old man turned around and took out a toolbox. He sat on the operating table in the living room and studied something carefully. Sis, Little Bean moved closer to Pudding. Do you want to eat my steak? Pudding glanced at Little Bean's face. Am I such a shallow person? I just want to say that you don't think Grandpa looks like Mommy in any way. Of course. He's Mommy's father. How can they not look like each other? Pudding lowered her head and continued eating her steak. When I went to Grandma's house, she showed me a picture of the deceased grandpa. That grandpa didn't look like Mommy at all. Instead, he looked like Uncle Jishin, Little Bean said mysteriously. So? Pudding continued to ask calmly. So I came up with a conclusion. Little Bean lowered her voice and said, What conclusion? That's Uncle Jishin and Mommy. They don't have the same father. After the DNA test, it's possible that Mommy was adopted by the deceased grandpa. Of course. You don't need to tell me such a simple thing. I found all these important clues, okay? Little Bean patted her chest and said proudly. You didn't need to find out. It's the truth. Then tell me something, if you have the guts. Little Bean began to provoke her sister. Don't you think Auntie looks like Mommy? Pudding said. You're right. Mommy isn't as pretty as Auntie, but they do look alike in some ways. Hearing her sister's words, Little Bean became even more excited. Sis, yeah? Is the steak good? Little Bean licked her lips. That's why you want to eat my steak, isn't it, Shin Mumu? Pudding raised her head in disdain. Hee, don't think of me like that. Anyway, you're always talking about losing weight and maintaining your figure. You can't finish this much anyway, so just give me a few bites. You already ate a tiramisu. That's a lot of calories and you still want to eat steak? Pudding scolded. I'm not full yet. I'm not full yet. Don't you still have noodles? Pudding rolled her eyes. But how can noodles taste better than steak? Little Bean said confidently. Pudding was so angry that she laughed. She carefully cut off a piece of beef and brought it to Little Bean's mouth. Thank you, sister. Flatterer. Pudding turned her head. At this moment, his phone rang. Pudding put down her fork, picked up her phone, and answered the video call. Handsome Sue, what are you guys doing? Suyu asked. We're eating. That old man made us a sumptuous supper, Pudding said. Handsome Sue, he can even make tiramisu. It's amazing. Little Bean held up her cake and showed it off. Suyu had an indescribable feeling in his heart. You two are so close to an outsider that you don't want Uncle Sue anymore, right? Chapter 3042. So, handsome Sue, are you jealous? Little Bean covered her mouth and laughed. Bullshit. I'm not jealous. Sue refused to admit it. Handsome Sue, what are you doing? Little Bean changed the subject. I'm thinking about you guys at home. You two heartless brats. You left just like that. Look, your grandma Sue is crying. Then, Sue turned to his mother behind him. Sure enough, Lady Sue was secretly wiping her tears. The twins had lived here for a few days and the house was filled with laughter. Now that he was suddenly gone, Mrs. Sue was not used to it, so she thought of him. When she saw the twins' unfinished food and used toothbrushes at home, she started crying. Grandma Sue, don't cry. We'll visit you in a few days. You can come visit us anytime. But Grandma Sue will visit you in a few days. Lady Sue looked at the kids on the screen and quickly wiped her tears. Little foodie, you can't eat too much at night, especially desserts. Your mommy said you'll have tooth decay. Did you forget? Sue reminded her. I know. Little Bean seemed a bit impatient and perfunctorily replied. Pudding, by the way, I have something to tell you. Go ahead, handsome Sue. Pudding turned the phone and looked at Sue. Do you still have a lot of shares of the whole corporation? Yes. When the market opens tomorrow morning, sell them all. So you said, I know, handsome Sue. I'm ready. I was going to do it even if you didn't tell me. I'll go to the company tomorrow to discuss the auction of the whole corporation. Once the company is sold, the shares will definitely plummet. Okay, I'll sell them tomorrow morning. Pudding nodded obediently. But, sis, does that mean you'll get a lot of money? Little Bean came up and smiled mysteriously. What do you want? Do you want to give me some money, rich sis? Little Bean tried to act cute. Qin Zhao Zhao, you're so stingy. You haven't sent me a WeChat red packet in a long time, Little Bean complained. You don't need to spend money. What do you want to buy? I'll buy it for you. Why do you have financial freedom but I don't? Little Bean pouted. Because I know how to trade stocks and manage money. Pudding said proudly. All right, stop arguing. Sue felt a headache coming on. Handsome Sue, I want a WeChat red packet. Okay, I'll send it to you. But tell me, why do you need a WeChat red packet? Sue teased Little Bean. Before Little Bean could answer, Pudding said with disdain, she spent all her money on Galbuyan's Batman. You can't do that, Little Bean. You're a socialite. How can you throw yourself at a man? I didn't. Little Bean explained angrily. Pa, is that kid from Gao Rant's family so charming? I can't believe they want us to rack our brains to get money, Sue continued. Hey handsome Sue, stop it. My sister gave Wei Yunchu a Naruto comic on Taobao. Why don't you scold her? That's because Wei Yunchu gave me money. I helped him. I didn't give him money, Pudding explained. You two are so good at acting. Okay, stop talking nonsense with me. I want to ask you, did the old man at home bully you? You mean the foreigner? Little Bean was about to blurt out. Ahem. Pudding coughed to remind them. Oh, you mean the old man from abroad? Little Bean said with a smile. Yeah. Did he mistreat you? Sue, you seem to be hostile toward the professor. Chapter 3043. He abused us. Little Bean said. Sue, ? He made us cakes and steaks in the middle of the night. He abused our weight, Little Bean said happily. Sue, handsome Sue, don't listen to Little Bean's nonsense. He didn't abuse us. He's very nice to us and made us dinner, Little Bean added. That's good. I'm relieved. Sue thought maybe he was overthinking. He was glad that the two kids were fine. Go to bed early. Don't stay up late. I know. You too. Good girls. I'll hang up now. After Sue hung up, Little Bean finished eating. She stood up and walked up to the professor. Little Bean, you can't touch these. They're all poisonous. Grandpa, why do you want to make these poisonous drugs? Because I need to make the antidote for your daddy's poison. Wow, Grandpa is a doctor? Little Bean looked at him with admiration. Doctor? The professor smiled lovingly. What about your auntie? Is she a doctor too? Little Bean continued to gossip. Your auntie? She's a scientist. She's so advanced? What does she study? She studies everything. The professor didn't tell Little Bean that Lu Yen was born to study explosives. Grandpa, is this purple one more poisonous or is this pink one more poisonous? Little Bean looked at the colored liquid on the table and was very interested. Little Bean, do you want to learn? Can I? Little Bean asked in pleasant surprise. Of course. If you like, I'll teach you. When you grow up, you can be a doctor like your mommy. Really? Don't lie to me. Grandpa never lies. Okay, I'll learn. Grandpa, you must teach me well. When I master it, I'll be able to surpass my sister in one thing. Then everyone won't say that my sister is better than me. So that's why you want to learn, little girl? The professor touched Little Bean's head lovingly. After Little Bean finished her noodles, she quietly cleaned up the plates she and her sister had used. Then he went to the kitchen and cleaned up. Because she was small, she couldn't reach the sink, so she moved a small stool and stood on it. Then she carefully washed it bit by bit. On the other hand, his sister was in the living room, being carried by the professor. She was able to recognize many unknown medicinal ingredients. The sisters did not reject the professor because they were unfamiliar with him at all. Perhaps it was because blood was thicker than water. It could be said that the twins hit it off with the professor at first sight. Suyu arranged for people to observe closely from the outside. From time to time, they would send the images inside to Suyu. Suyu was relieved after reading it. Now that the twins were gone, he didn't have to stay at home anymore. After eating some of his mother's wontons, he got up and left. Aren't you going to sleep at home tonight? Lady Su looked at her son reluctantly. Well, I'll go back to my place. I still have to wake up early tomorrow. Mom, you should go to bed early too. Okay, be careful when you drive. Suyu nodded and drove away from the villa. After returning to his private villa, Suyu received a WeChat message before he could change his shoes. President Su, are you asleep? What's up? Suyu replied to Nie Lingxian tiredly. There's something I want to tell you because I think it might be useful to you. What is it? After changing his shoes, Suyu walked to the fridge and took out a can of cold beer. Then he sat down on the sofa and drank. Chapter 3044. My sister contacted me. They're on their way back. They're taking a connecting flight and will arrive tomorrow afternoon. Su Lingyue noticed the key word. Yes, my sister and her boyfriend. Oh. Suyu nodded and replied with a simple, oh. Last time you called my sister because you wanted to talk to Rick, right? So, I think their return will be useful to you. Okay, I got it. Thank you. You're welcome. If you need my help, just tell me, President Su. Nie Lingxian was always so patient and gentle with Suyu. Okay. After replying, Suyu tossed his cell phone aside and drank his beer quietly. Nie Lingxian didn't want to give up when there was nothing to talk about. President Su, you haven't been to the company recently. Did something happen? Yeah, something happened to a friend, Suyu answered vaguely. I can tell you're not in a good mood. The company is fine. When you're not here, we work hard and don't embarrass Imperial Star. No matter what Nie Lingxian said, Suyu answered word by word, which made Nie Lingxian feel awkward. Okay, I won't disturb you. Rest early. Okay. President Su, my new movie will premiere in a few days. If the results are good, can you come and celebrate with us? Finally, Nie Lingxian plucked up her courage and asked Suyu. Before Suyu could answer, she continued, it's my first time acting in such a big movie, so I'm a little worried that people won't buy it. I'm worried that my acting skills aren't good enough. But the director said that there's a high chance that the movie will reach 1 billion yuan. If it does, can you come and celebrate with us with champagne? Nie Lingxian's voice was filled with anticipation. We'll see how it goes. In the end, Suyu didn't give her the answer she wanted the most. Then good night. After sending the message, Suyu scrolled down his phone. She continued scrolling until she reached Huamin's profile picture. His name was Dr. Hua. He liked being addressed as Dr. Hua, and he also liked to call him Huamin. She also liked the way Huamin wore black-rimmed glasses and a white coat. Now that she thought about it, after knowing Huamin for so long, the happiest time was when he was hospitalized. At that time, he was always looking for trouble to bully Huamin, but he was always bullied by Huamin. However, he enjoyed it. Every day, he looked forward to Dr. Hua coming to check on him and having a war of words with her. Out of all the women he knew, Huamian had the most vicious tongue. If he were to insult you, he would be able to make you cry without even using a single curse word. He would be so embarrassed that he would be unable to show his face. However, he later realized that Huamin was a person who was very willing to leave others some leeway. She wouldn't be too harsh with her words. How could he not like a girl who had a vicious tongue on the outside but was still kind on the inside? As he looked at the profile picture, his eyes gradually became blurry. He picked up his phone, pressed it, and began to speak. Dr. Hua, come back quickly. Stop messing around. Everyone misses you. If you come back, I won't like you anymore. I won't cause you any more embarrassment or trouble. I'll just watch you from afar, as long as you come back safely. After he finished speaking, Suyu let go of his phone and sent the voice message. However, he knew that Huamin wouldn't be able to see it because Huamin didn't take her phone with her. It was always in Gao Rant's office at the Municipal Public Security Bureau. At this thought, Suyu felt that he was being too impulsive, so he deleted the voice message. Then the doorbell rang. Ding dong. Chapter 30:45. Suyu stood up tiredly. He was too lazy to open the door. Sure enough, when he opened the door, he saw Tang Chuan. Other than him, no one else would come looking for Suyu in the middle of the night. Don't you sleep at night? Or did Qi Ning kick you out? Suyu glared at Tang Chuan and asked. Nonsense. My Ning is so gentle, why would she kick me out? I'm just worried that you're in a bad mood and bored, so I came to keep you company. Get lost, I don't need you to keep me company. Hee, you really are drinking alone. Look at what I brought you. Tang Chuan walked in with a bag of food. There were chicken feet, peanuts, canned fish, ham, and other dishes that went with alcohol. I don't want to eat, I don't have an appetite. Suyu leaned against the sofa. I know, after my sister-in-law went missing, you've been distracted. Your sister-in-law? Don't be so shameless, okay? Are you married to Qi Ning? Why are you calling her sister-in-law? For some reason, Suyu felt weird when he heard Tang Chuan call Huamin his sister-in-law. Hi, you're jealous of this? Menopause is coming. No, your period is coming. It's scarier than a woman's period. Fuck you. Only Tang Chuan and Suyu bickered the most, but the atmosphere was no longer as depressing. Just then, the doorbell rang. Just as Suyu was wondering who it was, Tang Chuan stood up to open the door. He saw Wei Liao walk in with a box of beer in his hand. Oh Wei, why are you here? Suyu was puzzled. This guy said he'll drink with you tonight and won't go home until he's drunk, Wei Liao said. It's not like I'm out of love. Suyu smiled helplessly. But you're even scarier than a breakup? Lord Su, how long has it been since you last worked at your company? Ever since Qin Chu and Huamin got into trouble, you seem to have become dispirited, Wei Liao said seriously. Sigh. I just didn't expect things to turn out like this. Where are the twins? Still at your house? Tang Chuan asked. Let's talk about this later. Ning Ning's father will be back tomorrow. Her parents know about this too. To be honest, Ning Ning has been crying all day since this happened. I've been feeling really depressed. So, tonight no matter who it is, let's not go home until we're drunk, Tang Chuan said. Yes. Suyu nodded. By the way, old Wei, how's sister-in-law Xiao Wei? Tang Chuan turned to look at Wei Liao and asked. She's still the same. She's depressed all day. My son and I don't dare to provoke her. Wei Liao sighed slightly. That's normal. Sister-in-law Xiao Wei and sister-in-law Mian are so close. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's drink. The three men started drinking in Suyu's mansion in the middle of the night. Suyu hadn't indulged himself like this in a long time. After finishing a box of beer, Suyu took out a bottle of 1985 Lafite under Tang Chuan's encouragement. In the end, Tang Chuan, who was the happiest, drank until he cried and danced around. Finally, he fell asleep on the sofa, on the bench by the pool. Wei Liao and Suyu were also reeking of alcohol. The two of them leaned against the bench with cigarettes in their hands. Suyu picked up a lighter and lit Wei Liao's cigarette. Then, the two of them looked up at the starry sky in silence. After a long time, Wei Liao finally spoke. Lord Su, I've been wanting to ask you for a long time. Are you tired of loving Huamin? Wei Liao asked word by word. Chapter 3046. Tired? Why would you say that? Suyu froze slightly and seemed to sober up a little. Because even as a bro, I think you're tired. All these years, when Huamin was in trouble, you were always the first one to take the lead. If you handled it well, no one would say it was your work, but if you didn't, you would take the blame. When Huamin was in jail, you held a gun to his head and forced his grandfather to give in. Despite the pressure of public opinion, you saved her. When Qin Chu was in trouble, Huasiqian targeted her. You brought her to the Su family to raise the baby until she gave birth. After the baby was born, you had to take care of them from time to time. Now that she's in trouble, you're in charge of taking care of her. Now that you mention it, it does seem like I've done a lot of things. Suyu laughed heartily. So, you don't feel tired at all? If I felt tired, I would have been tired a long time ago. I wouldn't have the willpower to persist until now, Suyu said with a smile. So, my obsession with Mion has never been measured by whether it's worth it or not. It's just an instinctive reaction. It's the truest feeling in my heart. Then, Lord Su, you're really a devoted man. Don't call me infatuated. It's only been a few years. When I'm 80 years old and have to walk with a cane, if I still like Huamian, then tell me that I'm an infatuated man. After Suyu said this, he and Wei Liao looked at each other and smiled. If I were a woman, I'd definitely marry someone like you in my next life. Yeah. If I were a woman in my next life, I'd also want to marry a man like me, Suyu said. Then, the two men laughed out loud. This was the first time Suyu had let loose since Qin Chu and Huamian's accident. Otherwise, with so many things weighing down on his heart, he felt like he was about to explode. The professor did magic tricks and taught Little Bean how to make some interesting chemical reactions. It wasn't until Little Bean was tired that the professor sent the two kids back to their room to sleep. Then he sat alone in the living room to study the antidote in Qin Chu's body. In a remote cold storage in a country in the Middle East following Lu Yan's instructions, Xiao Fei released the blood in Lu Yan's lungs. During the whole process, Lu Yan bit on a piece of white gauze and didn't make a sound. The knife in Xiao Fei's hand slowly pierced into her internal organs. No one could understand Xiao Fei's feelings. Lu Yan was in pain, but he was in pain 10 times more than Lu Yan. But so what? Under such circumstances, was there any other choice? Lu Yan was sweating from the pain and almost fainted several times. She clenched her fists so tightly that her nails pierced the skin of her palms. Finally, after watching the extravasated blood flow out, Xiao Fei carefully sutured the wound. Yan, are you okay? At this moment, Lu Yan had difficulty speaking, but she forced herself to nod. I'm afraid that your wound will get infected. I'll go out and buy some antibiotics for you later. No, it's okay. I'll be fine with some liquor. Then, Lu Yan raised her hand with difficulty and pointed at a military-grade water bottle in her purse. It was indeed filled with liquor. Lu Yan had made it herself. Give it to me. Xiao Fei opened the bottle. Lu Yan took it and gulped down 2 mouthfuls of liquor. Then, she coughed violently. Xiao Fei immediately held her in his arms and gently patted her back. Psycho Xiao, we have to get out of here. Ian's men will find us soon. But you just had your wound stitched up. You can't go too far. Take my watch and go first. Go find my men to pick me up. I'll wait for you here. Then, Lu Yan quickly took off the watch that she never left her body and handed it to Xiao Fei. Chapter 3047. No. Leave now. I'm not leaving. If we leave together. Xiao Fei was as stubborn as Lu Yen. If you don't leave, we'll both die here. Lu Yen looked at Xiao Fei, exasperated and amused. Then let's die here together. Damn it. I haven't lived long enough. I don't want to die. Lu Yen laughed out loud. Yen, we've known each other for so many years. You should know me. How could I leave you behind? Xiao Fei hugged Lu Yen, who was in so much pain. I know, Psycho Xiao. I know all the good you've done for me, so don't force me to leave you behind. No, this is the most rational way. You can move freely now and won't be followed. If you find my men and come back to save me, we can both leave this damned place. No. It's not safe for you to be here alone. I'll be fine. You know Ian doesn't really want to kill me. He just wants to catch me. This place is so secluded that they might not be able to find me. In other words, even if they find me, they might not be able to catch me. Puma, I'm the famous second Mississippi. Lu Yen put her hand on Xiao Fei's. But, Xiao Fei, I want to live. I know you want me to live more, so I'll be fine. You're not abandoning me. It's just that there's no better way right now. I'll take you out with me. If I go out like this, I'll be followed. We'll both be finished, Lu Yen analyzed calmly. Can't the watch send a signal here? Xiao Fei still didn't want to leave Lu Yen. If the watch is sent out and Ian's men find out, it'll expose our whereabouts. After you go out, send a signal to my men. Even if Ian's men find out, they won't catch you. After all, your appearance isn't stable. Hearing Lu Yen's words, Xiao Fei fell silent again. He knew Lu Yen was right, but he really couldn't just leave like this. Psycho Xiao, you're the only one who can save me. Lu Yen looked at him pitifully. Xiao Fei hugged Lu Yen lovingly and gently pressed his face against hers. Then you have to wait here for me to come back. Yes, definitely. If anything happens to you, I will never forgive you in the future. Yes, sir, Lu Yen teased. After a long moment of hesitation, Xiao Fei reached out and took the watch from Lu Yen. Xiao Fei left the 2 pistols to Lu Yen. These 2 are for you. Keep them for self-defense. If there are too many of them, don't fight them head-on. The worst-case scenario is that you'll be caught by Ian. But you have to stay alive. I'll contact the professor and think of a way to save you. Don't worry. I won't be caught by that guy so easily. Lu Yen smiled. Then you take care of yourself. I'll be back soon. All right, I'll listen to you. With that, Xiao Fei stood up and left quickly, not even looking back at Lu Yen. He knew that if he turned back now, he might not be able to get out of here. The 2 of them were trapped here and there was no better way to break out. Ian was still lingering around with so many people and so many heavy weapons. He was determined to catch Lu Yen, in a hotel suite. Sir, we found Lu Yen's whereabouts. Ian's men excitedly reported the news. Chapter 3048. Ian was lying on top of a young girl. Hearing this, he paused for a moment and then stood up. Sir. The girl's eyes were dazed and full of anticipation. Ian picked up his robe and put it on, ignoring the girl. Where is she? In a cold storage in the northern part of the Mario Islands. Both of them are there? She's alone. Alone? What about the kid from the Chow family? Ian was slightly surprised. We're still investigating. Idiot, Ian scolded coldly. Sir, please calm down. We'll send someone to check it out and make sure it's not a trap. Then we'll take you there. No. I'll go now. But sir, we're still not sure if it's Lu Yan's scheme. His subordinate was anxious. It's better if it's a scheme. I haven't fought her in a long time. I've been missing that girl. Ian smiled. At South Hill Manor, good morning, Grandpa. Pudding came downstairs and saw her grandpa busy at the dining table. Good morning, Grandpa. Pudding was wearing a flower-patterned princess dress and followed her sister downstairs. Good morning. Come and eat. Yay. What did Grandpa make for us this time? Pudding's eyes lit up at the mention of food. The professor was wearing a dark gray shirt and black slacks. It was clean and neat, and the color was just right for his age. No one would have thought that the famous Professor Lu was actually just an ordinary old man. Pudding and Pudding sat down. They looked at the sumptuous breakfast on the table. There were 3 bowls of millet and mung bean porridge, 3 fried eggs, 2 grilled sausages, and 2 corn sticks for kids. "Grandpa, did you make all this?" Pudding was full of admiration. "You're amazing. You're just like my daddy," Pudding exclaimed. "You didn't forget to mention your daddy when you were praising me. You're my biological son." The professor smiled. "Grandpa, did you make any progress last night?" Pudding was very concerned about her daddy's condition. "The antidote is almost ready. I'm just missing one thing. I'm going to ask that guy named Suyu for it." "Whatever you need, handsome Su can get it," Pudding said. "I know. I've already called him. When he sends it over, it will be ready." "Grandpa, can I go to the hospital with you to visit Daddy today?" "You miss Daddy?" "Of course. My sister has been there several times." I haven't been there yet. I want to go. Okay, I'll take you." "Pudding, what about you?" "Grandpa, I won't be going today. I don't have to worry about you and my sister. I'm going to the stock exchange hall today." "What? Is there anything wrong with the stock? If we sell all of the whole corporation's shares, there will be a lot of problems. I need to go with handsome Su to deal with it." "All right, then we'll split up. Grandpa will make pepper chicken for you 2 tonight. Can the 2 of you eat spicy food?" Yes. As long as it's food, I'm fine with it." Little Bean raised her hand. "You're going to be as fat as a pig sooner or later." Pudding looked at her sister helplessly. Then, the 3 of them had a sumptuous breakfast. After breakfast, the professor took Little Bean to the hospital to visit Chin Chu. After Su Yu delivered the professor's medicine, he drove Pudding home. On the way, Pudding was very quiet. She didn't chat with Su Yu as usual. "Pudding, are you in a bad mood?" Su Yu tilted his head and asked as he drove. Chapter 3049. Pudding seemed to be in a heavy mood and only responded with a simple "What's wrong? Are you unhappy because you're going to sell all your stocks today, little rich girl?" Su Yu teased her. "No, it has nothing to do with that. Money and stocks are just worldly possessions." What's going on?" "Handsome Su, I'm worried about my mommy." "Your mommy?" Su Yu froze when he heard Pudding mention Huamin. "My mommy is pregnant. I don't know where Hua Xiqian took her." Pudding looked sad. "Hua Xiqian is a bad guy, but he's good to your mommy. I've seen it with my own eyes." "Don't worry, Pudding, your mommy won't be bullied," Su Yu comforted her. "No, handsome Su, it's not like that. It's not that simple." "Then what do you think, Pudding?" Su Yu knew that Pudding had a lot on her mind. She looked sad because she had a lot on her mind. "Hua Xiqian is good to my mommy, and he won't hurt her under normal circumstances. But don't forget, he has dual personality disorder." Su Yu's expression changed slightly. "Pudding, how did you know about this?" "I overheard it when my mommy and daddy were talking. The gist of it is that Hua Xiqian is good when he's normal, but when his second personality appears, he becomes a completely different person. When that happens, he won't be able to control himself even if he doesn't want to hurt my mommy." Su Yu panicked when he heard Pudding's words. Hua Xiqian's double identity disorder wasn't a secret in their circle. Everyone knew about it. Although Su Yu had never seen Hua Xiqian in his bird form, he could imagine how cruel he would be. "What should we do?" Su Yu was panicking as well. "My grandpa said that my daddy will wake up soon. It'll be great if my daddy wakes up. He'll definitely know how to find mommy." "Well, I hope so." Su Yu sighed slightly. "I hope mommy and the baby are okay." Pudding looked out of the car window gloomily. The 2 of them then went to the stock exchange hall and did a series of operations. Actually, to them now, even if the whole corporation vanished into thin air, it didn't matter anymore. Because it was just an empty shell left behind by Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian didn't even care anymore. After that, Su Yu took Pudding to Imperial Star. Su Yu went to a meeting while Pudding sat in the office waiting for him. He browsed through the financial news. "President Su, are you there?" A woman's voice came from outside the door. He's not here, Pudding replied in her baby voice. Nie Lingxian was slightly surprised. She knocked on the door and walked in. She saw the little girl sitting in Su Yu's office chair, looking very cool. Little Bean or Pudding? Nie Lingxian smiled in a friendly manner. Are you Auntie Cece's older sister? You know me? Nie Lingxian seemed very happy. You've had a lot of shows recently. The media said that you're now the #1 actress in Imperial Star, Pudding said calmly. Don't listen to the media. I'm not that good. You haven't told me yet. Are you Pudding or Little Bean? Guess. Pudding suddenly played a prank. To be honest, among all the women who liked Su Yu, Pudding didn't dislike Pudding because she didn't think this auntie was fake. What's the reward if I guess right? Nie Lingxian was very playful and continued to joke with Pudding. If you guess right, I'll let you have lunch with handsome Su and me. What do you think? Pudding seemed to know what she was thinking. Chapter 3050. Well, you guessed what I was thinking. You're so smart, Nie Lingxian praised. It's not hard. Most of the aunties at Imperial Star like handsome Su. It's no secret. After all, everyone wants to get close to their boss. Handsome Su is young, handsome, rich, and has a powerful family background. It's normal that so many women like him. Then you must think I'm one of the women with the same goal as them, right? Nie Lingxian smiled. You're much better than them. How so? At least you're not as fake as them. How can you tell? You don't know me. It was the first time Nie Lingxian discussed such a profound topic with such a young child. She suddenly found it interesting. Because you've never caused trouble for my mommy. Nie Lingxian was slightly surprised. Then she suddenly understood. So, the women I met before all caused trouble for Dr. Hua. Yeah. They think handsome Su didn't accept them because he likes my mommy. They don't know if it's because they're not good enough. Sometimes, women really like those who think they're smart. Looking at the little girl who spoke like an adult, Nie Lingxian thought she was adorable. Do you want to eat cake? A fan came to visit me just now and gave me a delicious matcha cake. You'll get fat if you eat cake. You're a female star. How can you be so careless with your figure? Pudding scolded. I know. You're Pudding. Nie Lingxian smiled like a flower. Pudding, you're Pudding, right? How did you know? Pudding was puzzled. Because I heard that Little Bean likes cake. Since you don't like it, you must be Pudding. Nie Lingxian was proud. How did you know? Where did you hear such private matters from? Cece told me. Auntie Cece unintentionally sold me out. Pudding looked helpless. Just then, the office door was pushed open. Su Yu walked in. Pudding, are you hungry? What are we eating? Handsome Su, can I invite this auntie to have lunch with us? Pudding was a woman of her word. What's going on? Su Yu glanced around and found that Nie Lingxian was also in the office. Pudding ignored Su Yu and asked Nie Lingxian, Auntie Nie, what do you want to eat? I'm fine with anything. If you say anything, then I'll order my favorite food. Pudding said. No problem. Handsome Su, I want to eat seafood, Pudding said. Okay, whatever you want to eat. Little ancestor, let's go. Su Yu walked over dotingly, picked up Pudding with one hand and walked out. Seeing how Su Yu treated Pudding like his own child, Nie Lingxian suddenly felt envious of Pudding. To be able to receive such love from Su Yu, he had thought that there would only be the three of them. During lunch, Tang Chuan and Qi Ning arrived shortly after Su Yu received a call. Pudding was very close to Qi Ning and sat in her arms. Auntie, when will second grandpa arrive? So, your dad's surgery is about to start, right? Yeah, about tomorrow. Pudding nodded. That's good. I hope everything goes well. Qi Ning sighed. Auntie, when second grandpa comes back and dad recovers, will you go back to the States? After Pudding asked this, Tang Chuan immediately turned his head and looked at Qi Ning nervously. This was the question he had always wanted to ask but didn't dare to. Qi Ning seemed to have been back for a long time. Was she going to go back with her father this time? Chapter 3051. We'll see how it goes. Qin Ning's words were vague. She didn't say she was leaving or not. Well, if Qin Ning leaves, someone will feel bad. Suyu teased. Nonsense. I don't feel bad, Tang Chuan said stubbornly. Keep bragging. Pudding glanced at Tang Chuan in disdain. Really? I'm not bragging. I really don't feel bad. If she goes back, I'll go with her. Tang Chuan laughed. Suyu, Pudding, look at how useless you are. Qin Ning was a little embarrassed. What's the point of having a future? I still want a wife. During the meal, Xianxia didn't say much because she wasn't familiar with Tang Chuan and Qin Ning. So, she just ate in silence. After the meal, Pudding said, Handsome Su, you can take Auntie Nia back to the company. What about you? I'll go see Daddy with Uncle Tang and Auntie. I'll go to the hospital to see you guys, Suyu said. Then, they separated and Xianxia got into Suyu's Lamborghini. You didn't eat much, Suyu said. I didn't eat much anyway. Tang Chuan is like that. We've been friends for years and he speaks casually. Most of what he says is nonsense. I can see that you guys are close. Suyu smiled and continued driving. President Su, you're so good to Pudding, Xianxia said enviously. I'm so good to her too. You're funny. Xianxia was amused by Suyu. It's true. I've watched those two little fellows grow since they were young. They're like my own daughters. It seems you really like Dr. Hua, Xianxia said in a low voice. Yes, I like her very much. Suyu never hid his love for Huamin. From the past until now, he had openly admitted it. Dr. Hua is really outstanding. I think he's worth it, Xianxia said. Your sister will arrive in the afternoon, right? Suyu didn't answer, but asked her another question. Yes, it should be. Alright, we're here. You can go back to the company. I'll go to the hospital. Suyu slowly parked the car in front of the company. Thank you, President Su. You're welcome. Go ahead. Xianxia got out of the car, and Suyu drove away. This scene happened to be witnessed by a female artist from the same company. Sister Xianxia, did President Su send you back? Yes. Did you guys go on a date? The female artist asked nosily. No, we just had lunch together. You're amazing. President Su rarely has lunch with us artists. Only Jian Tong has this privilege. What's going on? Are you and our boss? No, President Su and I are purely in a superior and subordinate relationship. Hi, you're blushing. It's true. Don't talk nonsense. I don't want to cause trouble for President Su because of me. I know. But to be honest, President Su hasn't had a girlfriend. You have a chance. You have to work hard. Now that you're so popular, beautiful, and low-key, maybe you can develop a relationship with President Su. Forget it. Don't even think about it. President Su won't like me. Xianxia was very self-aware. Cici had told her many times before. Suyu's love for Huamin was almost stubborn. In the hospital corridor, how is it? Old man, have you developed the antidote? Suyu still liked to call the professor old man. However, not only was the professor not angry, but he also seemed to like Suyu. Chapter 3052. Of course. Do you think I'm on the same level as those quacks in your country? The professor said proudly. Oh, you're so arrogant. Handsome Su, you can't talk to him like that. Little Bean scolded Suyu, which was rare for her. Little Bean, you're helping an outsider. Are you stupid? Suyu rubbed Little Bean's face with his finger. I'm serious. He's an elder. You can't be so rude. Okay. Little girl. Suyu laughed. Sir, how is my brother? When can he have the surgery? Qin Ning asked. Tomorrow morning will be fine. Hearing the professor's words, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. After leaving the hospital, the professor took the twins back to South Hill Manor. On the way, Zhixin video called him. Hello, Uncle Zhixin. Hello, Pudding. I'm Little Bean, you big idiot. Zhixin, Uncle, did your business trip go well? Pudding tilted her head and asked. Everything's fine. How's your daddy? He can have the surgery tomorrow morning. Don't worry, uncle. I'll go to the hospital to see him. Okay, uncle. By the way, how's grandma? She's not in a good mood. I asked Bella to take care of her. Okay. As your future auntie, there's nothing wrong with taking care of your mother-in-law, Little Bean said. Jixin, uncle, be careful. Come back soon, Pudding reminded him. I miss you too. I'll bring you gifts. Thank you, uncle. Then, Little Bean hung up the video call. Sis, did you notice? Little Bean asked mysteriously. What did I notice? Didn't you notice that Uncle Jixin is a little stupid sometimes? Little Bean asked in a low voice. Pudding, I used to wonder why Mommy has such a stupid brother when she's so smart. His brain is really slow. Pudding, it's okay. He's not that stupid. He's not hopeless. Ha. Sis, you're a high-level hater. Little Bean laughed. But you're right. Uncle isn't as smart as Mommy, but Auntie is. So Auntie and Mommy are both Grandpa's children. Pudding deduced. The two of you are so smart. The professor listened to his granddaughter's conversation and was full of admiration. When she left the hospital, Qin Ning was on her period and her stomach hurt a little. Tang Chuan saw that she did not look well, so he took her directly to the gynecologist for a checkup and took some Chinese medicine. Unfortunately, this scene was seen by Tang Chuan's mother's friend. Later, when the news reached Tang Chuan's mother, it completely changed its meaning. Mrs. Tang, I really did see your son take a girl to the gynecology department. I don't know if they're going to get an abortion. Abortion? Mrs. Tang's expression was terrible. Young people these days don't care about these things at all. They only care about temporary pleasure. My son is like that. Last year, he impregnated 3 girls. 2 of them took the money and had abortions. The other one refused to have an abortion and wanted to give birth to the baby. It was obvious that they were trying to extort money from us. They only agreed after we gave them an extra $1 million. Mrs. Tang was silent after hearing this, but her expression became even colder. I saw Chuan treat that girl well. He was supporting her the entire time. Hearing this, Tang Chuan's mother couldn't sit still anymore. She stood up and walked out. Madam, get the car. I want to see that girl, Mrs. Tang said sternly. Chapter 3053. Okay, Mrs. Tang. After Tang Chuan accompanied Qin Ning to the hospital, he drove her back to her apartment. He then drove to the company. After Qin Ning returned home, she was a little tired. She took a shower and was about to go to bed. Just then, she heard an order. She walked downstairs in her nightgown with her hair down. When she opened the door, she was slightly surprised. Let's talk. The domineering Mrs. Tang said she wanted to talk to Qin Ning as soon as she walked in. Qin Ning was confused. Do you need something from me? Of course. Okay. How long have you been living here? Mrs. Tang looked at Qin Ning and asked. Less than half a month. Qin Ning thought for a moment. Are all socialites so open-minded these days? What do you mean? Qin Ning received an American education, so she didn't know how to react to Mrs. Tang's harsh words. Miss Qin, you're from a prestigious family and your family is well-to-do. How could you do such a thing? What did I do? Qin Ning was confused. You and my son are only dating. You're not officially married, right? You didn't come back to the Tang family to meet the elders. Do you think it's okay for you to move in with him in such a hurry? I know you grew up in America and your mother passed away when you were young, so no one taught you these things. Wait, Auntie, don't mix it up. My mommy passed away a long time ago. Let's not talk about it. Besides, I grew up in America. Whether I'm open or not has nothing to do with whether my mommy passed away or not. Why don't you just say that I'm uneducated? I didn't say that. If that's what you think, I can't do anything about it. So, Auntie, you're here today to pick a fight, right? Qin Ning looked at Tang Chuan's mother angrily. Pick a fight? No, I don't have that much time to pick a fight with you. Then get to the point. I'm going to take a nap, Qin Ning said after looking at the time on her phone. Young lady, you're so rude. I don't understand why my son would fall for you. You're right. Mrs. Tang had always been very domineering, so very few people dared to talk to her like this. Those socialites who wanted to marry into the Tang family were polite to Mrs. Tang every time they saw her. Most of them even flattered her. Mrs. Tang couldn't help but feel angry when she saw Qi Ning speak so bluntly. Maybe it's because your son has a unique taste. He likes rude girls like me, Qi Ning said. Madam, please don't be angry. We're here to talk business, the housekeeper reminded Mrs. Tang kindly. Mrs. Tang suppressed her anger and unceremoniously placed the Louis Vuitton handbag on the coffee table. She sat down on the sofa and glanced at Qi Ning. Get me a glass of water. I'm thirsty. Sorry, I never drink tea. There's some cold beer in the fridge. Would you like one? What? Ice beer? Mrs. Tang was incredulous. That's right. Tang Chuan and I like to eat snacks and drink beer, so we only have a lot of beer at home. As for tea, if you want to drink it, you have to go out of the main entrance of the neighborhood and turn left at 150. There's a tea house there. Why are you acting like the hostess of my son's mansion? That's strange. That's because your son begged me to move in. If I don't come, he'll cry, Qi Ning said deliberately. Hearing this, Mrs. Tang's expression couldn't get any uglier. The housekeeper almost cried. She knew that Mrs. Tang was furious, but the young master's girlfriend was too fierce. Chapter 3054. Qi Ning, don't think that just because my son likes you, you can do whatever you want. I'm sorry, Auntie. I've never done whatever I want. Don't accuse me of anything. I won't take the blame. Madam, let's talk about that. The housekeeper reminded Mrs. Tang to get to the point. Mrs. Tang felt a sense of suffocation in her chest that couldn't be released. She had dominated the Tang family for decades, but today she finally met someone powerful. Forget it, I don't want to argue with you about such trivial things. Let me ask you, how many months are you pregnant? What the? Qi Ning was dumbfounded. What did she say? Mrs. Tang didn't seem to hear her clearly. She seems very surprised, madam, the housekeeper explained. You don't need to be surprised. You can't hide the truth forever. It's easy for me to find out anything in this city. Although I don't like you and I don't treat you as my daughter-in-law, since you're pregnant, don't abort it. If it's a boy, it'd be a shame. After all, he's my grandson. Chuan isn't young anymore. If he has a child, his father and I will be very happy. Don't be in such a hurry to abort the baby. When you're 4 months pregnant, do an ultrasound to see if it's a boy. If it's a boy, give birth to him. The Tang family will treat you badly. After hearing Mrs. Tang's words, Qi Ning's mouth opened so wide that she could swallow an egg. Don't look at me like that. I'm a woman of my word. If you can really give birth to a boy for the Tang family, I won't treat you badly. Auntie, you're so funny. Mrs. Tang, have you watched too many melodramatic TV dramas? Or was it his own YY story that couldn't be more melodramatic? Mrs. Tang, Miss Qin, our madam is here to talk to you. Although she doesn't like you, if you have a young master in your belly, she can let bygones be bygones. What pregnancy joke? Who told you that I'm pregnant? Qi Ning was about to break down. Didn't you and Chuan go to the gynecologist to get an abortion? Mrs. Tang remembered her friend saying that she saw Tang Chuan and Qi Ning at the hospital. Oh my God, please? Is going to the hospital to get an abortion? But you went to the gynecologist? The housekeeper said. That's because I'm on my period. My stomach hurts, you know? Mrs. Tang and the housekeeper were both dumbfounded. Auntie, can you please do your homework before coming to me next time? You're very scary and I'm also very confused. Besides, you should ask your son if he's touched me before. Pregnant? Could it be that she was impregnated by nature? Do you think your grandson is Sun Wukong, jumping out of a rock by himself? Mrs. Tang was speechless. If you're here because of this, you'd better go back early. It's quite hot outside. Next time, just call me directly. By the way, if I'm pregnant, I'll definitely tell you immediately. I won't go so far as to abort the baby. After all, our Qin family has plenty of money and can afford it. My dad happens to be worried that no one will inherit his business. So even if I'm really pregnant in the future, whether it's a boy or a girl, Auntie, you don't have to worry about it. After being scolded by Qin Ning, Mrs. Tang was embarrassed and angry. It's almost time for my afternoon nap. The doctor said that I have to ensure that I get enough sleep, so I won't see you out. Go ahead. Then, Qin Ning turned and went upstairs. Mrs. Tang was so angry that she couldn't speak. Madam, I recorded what she said just now. Should we show young master this woman's true face? The housekeeper asked in a low voice behind her. Chapter 3055. Why not? Take the recording and go find our son now. Mrs. Tang was so angry that she almost had a heart attack. Then, she left Tang Chuan's mansion and followed the housekeeper to the headquarters of the Tang Corporation. Tang Chuan had just finished a planning meeting with the marketing department and was about to go for dinner. Just then, he saw his mother angrily walking over to denounce him. Mother, how come you're so free? Didn't you go play mahjong today? Tang Chuan smiled cheekily. Don't talk nonsense. Come in with me. Mrs. Tang's face was full of anger. Tang Chuan was a little confused as he followed behind her. He did not forget to quietly ask the housekeeper, Sister May? What's the matter? Did my mother eat dynamite? Something like that, the housekeeper answered with a straight face. Inside Tang Chuan's office, Mrs. Tang looked back at the housekeeper. May, play the recording for him. Yes, madam. Then, the housekeeper took out her phone and played the entire conversation on speakerphone. Tang Chuan listened quietly and couldn't help but laugh. After the recording, Mrs. Tang glared at her son. Look at this woman. She acts one way in front of you and another way behind your back. She must be very obedient and sensible in front of you, right? Look at her attitude toward me. Mom, if that's what you think, you're wrong, huh? Mrs. Tang was confused. Ning Ning is being very polite to me. She usually yells at me. Tang Chuan said. Mrs. Tang, young master, are you serious? Don't joke with madam. The housekeeper didn't believe it either. No, I'm serious. Mom, you're very brave. You actually went to find Ning Ning behind her back. Huh. Thinking about what Qin Ning said to his mother, Tang Chuan laughed out loud. Didn't I think she was pregnant? Mrs. Tang was a little angry. Pregnant? I want to, but I haven't even slept with her yet. How can I get pregnant? If she gets pregnant now, the child won't be mine. Do you want your son to be cheated on? What nonsense are you talking about? I just want to tell you that look at how uneducated this woman is. Who said that? Ning Ning is a very nice person. She treats her friends and family very well. Really? I can't tell at all. Look at her attitude towards me. Mom, I have to talk to you about this. There's a saying, if you respect her, she'll respect you 10 times over. Look at you, you were so aggressive. If it were any other girl, they would have been scared to tears. Our Ning Ning is brave. She fought you alone, and won by a small margin. Ha! Tang Chuan, are you really my son? Mrs. Tang was furious. You shouldn't be asking me about this. I was wondering if you had mistaken me for someone else at the hospital. Didn't you notice that I'm better looking than you and Dad? Tang Chuan brushed his short hair and pretended to be handsome. The female housekeeper almost laughed out loud because of his young master's teasing. Don't joke around. Be serious. Mrs. Tang was furious. I've always been serious. Mom, I'm warning you. Don't mess with our Ning Ning. You won't have a good ending. What? You're not even married yet and you're already forgetting about me? Do you have a conscience? Mrs. Tang was so angry that she was about to cry. Mom, if you promise not to mess with me in the future, I'll definitely have a conscience. Tang Chuan patted his chest and promised. I want you to break up with that woman immediately, right now, Mrs. Tang ordered angrily. Chapter 3056. Mom, if that's the case, then I can only... At this point, Tang Chuan deliberately paused. What can you do? Mrs. Tang curiously looked at her son's unfinished sentence. Then I can only go to the States with Qin Ning and become a live-in son-in-law of the Qin family. Haha, the Qin family is richer than us anyway. My wife is pretty and cute. The most important thing is that you don't have to get involved with me. You unfilial son. I'll beat you to death. How did I give birth to a wastrel like you? Look at your cousins. Which one of them is like you? Yeah, they're all puppets. They do whatever their parents say. I'm the first in the Tang family to be weaned. Mrs. Tang, young master, don't make Mrs. Tang angry. She's not in good health right now, the housekeeper tried to mediate. Mom, you're not in good health. Go home and rest. I haven't eaten yet. I'm starving. I'll go out and get some food. Before his mother could say anything, Tang Chuan wrapped his arms around his mother's neck and kissed her on the cheek. He even purposely made a noise with a smack and ran away quickly. Mrs. Tang was angry and resentful. Come back here, Mrs. Tang. I think young master has a bad temper. Let's go home first. Mrs. Tang worked for a whole day but got nothing. After being pissed off by Qin Ning, she was pissed off by her son. In a Sichuan restaurant downstairs, Tang Chuan ordered 2 dishes and a bottle of beer. Then, he immediately sent Qin Ning a video call. What? Qin Ning lay in bed and picked up the video call in a daze. Ning, come eat at the Sichuan restaurant downstairs. I'll treat you to boiled fish. I'm not going. Pa, I miss you. I'm not going. I'm in a bad mood. Is it because of my mom? Did she bother you? Tang Chuan chuckled. You still have the nerve to say that? Your mother is such a bitch. Qin Ning complained helplessly. My mom is like that. Now you know why I wanted to be your live-in son-in-law, right? Because compared to my parents, your father's character is simply superb. My daddy is coming soon. Speaking of which, I miss that old man a lot. Qin Ning's eyes suddenly became warm. Well, this time my father-in-law is here. I have to be a good host. I have to treat him well. Don't talk nonsense. No, I'm serious. Besides, my brother-in-law is about to wake up. Let's celebrate. Since everyone is so happy, why don't we consummate our marriage? Scram. Pa, I knew you would scold me. What's there to be happy about? We don't even have a clue about my sister-in-law's whereabouts. My brother won't be happy when he wakes up. It's okay. I believe that our sister-in-law will be blessed by God. She and the child will be fine. Tang Chuan comforted. I hope so. Middle Eastern countries, cold storage. Hearing the shuffling of footsteps outside, Lu Yen immediately opened her eyes in alarm. Xiao Fei had been gone for a while. After her wound was stitched up, she looked much more energetic than before. Although the temperature in the cold storage was low, it was enough to keep her brain awake and not make her pass out. Sir, Lu Yen is in there right now. Should we charge in? His subordinate asked Ian for instructions carefully. Ian was wearing a black cloak with a hood, thick black eyeliner covered his eyes, making him look very demonic. There was a creepy smile on his lips, the kind that made people's hair stand on end. Chapter 3057. Don't worry. Yen isn't that easy to deal with. Ian smiled evilly. Hearing so many footsteps, Lu Yen knew that it wasn't Xiao Fei and his reinforcements. She waited for a long time but didn't see anyone come in. She was puzzled. Lu Yan's body was still weak after the surgery. She leaned her body against one of the concrete pillars in the cold storage. Ian looked at the old cold storage room quietly but wasn't in a hurry to go in. Sir, if you're worried about a trap, we can set a fire and smoke the woman out, one of his men suggested. Upon hearing this, Ian slapped the man so hard that he saw stars. You've been with me for so long, but you still can't shut up. I'm sorry, sir. I was wrong. All of Ian's subordinates knew that he was temperamental. It was hard to guess what he was thinking. No one knew what he liked. He was like a madman. Finally, Ian walked closer to the cold storage room door and was about to walk in. Sir. His subordinates wanted to stop him but didn't dare to. Ian had brought dozens of people with him. When he walked to the cold storage room door, only 4 people followed him. They knew that their master wanted to talk about the real situation. At the cold storage room door, one of Ian's subordinates opened the door for him and didn't lock it. When Ian walked in, he felt a gust of cold air blowing against his face. The cold storage room wasn't very big, so he could see everything inside. So, he saw Lu Yen curled up in a corner, leaning against a pillar. She looked exhausted. "Disgusting guy, it's really you," Lu Yen said in perfect English as she looked at Ian with disgust. "Ha, disgusting guy, is that my new name? I like it." Lu Yen glared at Ian. "Baby, you look seriously injured." Ian said, "Don't worry, I won't die. Even the King of Hell doesn't dare to take my life." King of Hell? Who's the King of Hell? Ian didn't understand Chinese culture and was confused. "It's your ancestor," Lu Yen said in annoyance. "No, that's not my ancestor's name. Baby, where's your sweetheart? Why did he leave you and run away? He's a heartless guy. I told you, why don't you follow me? I love you so much." Ian looked at Lu Yen with great interest. In the past few years, the amount of manpower and money he had spent on hunting Lu Yen was shocking. Other than capturing Lu Yen to threaten the professor, Ian had his own selfish motives. That was, he had an extremely strong interest in this treasure with an Eastern face. Ever since Lu Yen was a teenager, he had been thinking about her. It could be said that he had watched her grow up in the past years. For years, Yans with Lu Yans with Lu's with Lu. He had never been so interested in a woman before. That was why he didn't have the heart to kill Lu Yen. Cut the crap. Do I need your love? What do you know what love is? You only know how to pretend to be a vampire and play with disgusting things. Don't you even have teeth? Don't you feel embarrassed? Lu Yan's tongue was even sharper than Huamin's. Lu Yen was the first person in history who dared to talk to Ian like this. Ian's subordinates' expressions changed when they heard what Lu Yen said. "Boss, I'll teach this rude woman a lesson for you." Ian's subordinate walked toward Lu Yen with his bare hands, intending to pick her up and give her a good beating. Chapter 3058. Before Ian could stop his subordinate, he saw him rushing over with big strides. Before he could reach Lu Yen, he heard a bang. That person's entire body was blown away. The others were so scared that they retreated behind Ian. They had heard that Lu Yen was an explosives expert and had been playing with all kinds of explosive materials since she was a few years old. The military of many countries wanted to recruit this explosives genius, but they were all rejected. How could Ian not know? However, this brainless subordinate rushed over without thinking about the consequences in order to protect his boss and claim credit. So, he could only be blown away. "Hey, baby, you're still so naughty. Every time we meet, you give me a big gift." Ian didn't feel anything about losing a subordinate. Instead, he was pleasantly surprised by Lu Yan's design. A big gift? No, that's not it. This is at most an appetizer. Lu Yen smiled. "Then your appetizer is really unique," Ian praised. "Ian, do you know Journey to the West?" Lu Yen closed her eyes and leaned against the pillar leisurely. "Journey to the West?" Ian froze. "Yes, it's a famous novel in our country. It's about a master and his disciples who protected their master in the journey to the West. But that's not the main point. The main point is that every time the disciple went out to do something, in order to protect the disciple who didn't know martial arts, they would draw a circle around him. Then, the demons and ghosts wouldn't dare to come close," Lu Yen said slowly. "So?" Ian seemed to be curious about Lu Yan's story. "So, I also have a circle around me. It looks peaceful, but it's actually very dangerous. Master, she's talking nonsense. Don't believe her, I'm not afraid." At this time, another brainless subordinate didn't believe Lu Yan's words and thought she was deliberately mystifying things. He directly rushed towards Lu Yen. At the same distance, at a different angle, another explosion exploded on the spot. The person reacted quickly and dodged in time. Only one of his arms was blown off. Thick smoke billowed. The air was filled with the smell of gunpowder. "I told you it's true, but you still want to die. Ian, your subordinate's IQ is worrying." Lu Yen was proud again. "You only have one circle. I have many subordinates. Baby, you can't beat me." Come with me. I don't want to hurt you. Ian coaxed her. Master, we can directly use anesthetic needles to attack her from a distance. We just have to stay away from her. After she faints, we can take her away. Someone tried to trick Ian again. Did you hear that? Baby, if you continue to resist, I'll have no choice but to give you an anesthetic. You little beast, do you want me to give you the same dose as the lion or tiger? Ian said as he lifted his hands and lifted his black hat. He took the thin and long transparent needle from his subordinate's hand. It's a good idea, but I advise you not to do it. You'll regret it. Lu Yen chuckled. Why would he regret it? Could it be that my baby has a better way? Indeed, Ian had always been wary of Lu Yen. After all, he had fought with her many times and knew how cunning she was. Therefore, upon hearing Lu Yan's words, Ian became even more cautious and hesitated in his actions. Boss, this girl is bluffing. She's alone and helpless. How could she have any other way? Ian, do you want to try? Let's see who will be the unlucky one if you shoot the anesthetic needle at me. Lu Yan opened her watery eyes and looked at Ian with a confident smile. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.